WFYI podcasts are made possible by Bloomington, Indiana, an American college town offering experiences like indulging in grub at Nick's English Hut, taking a stroll along Kirkwood Avenue, feeling the history and magic of Assembly Hall, and providing the chance to feel like a college kid again. Plan your trip at visitbloomington.com.
I'm Kyle Long, host of Cultural Manifesto, just one of the local music programs you can enjoy on WFYI. These programs would not be possible without your financial support. And to say thank you, we want to send you to see Lyle Lovett when he comes to Indianapolis on July 28th. Choose a concert ticket as your gift when you donate at WFYI.org/give. And thanks for supporting WFYI.
This is Small Studio Signal Boost from WFYI. I'm Melissa Davis, your host tonight, along with co-host Adam Gross. We'll listen to a performance this evening from Bloomington-based band Otto and the Moaners, recorded live at the Hi-Fi in Fountain Square. Eric Weddle, the managing editor for WFYI's Education Desk, stops by to share his top 5 songs that helped inspire him to move to Bloomington in the mid-90s. Stay with us for an hour of new music from Indiana-based artists here on Small Studio Signal Boost. First, let's listen to a song from indie-based Dead Silence. There's an indie-centric video out of the single Vanilla Bean. In the video, you'll see Bottleworks and Mass Ave and a lot of cool stuff. This is from the latest album from Dead Silence, Through the Fire, and we're going to listen to Vanilla Bean here on Small Studio Signal Boost.
I just wanna see, is you gon' be smooth and keep it solid with me? I'ma lead, stepping like 1, 2, 3, and I'm clean, lit and I sway till I leave, smelling like vanilla bean, like what you mean, hey, on me I'm never playing that game.
That was Dead Silence with Vanilla Bean. You are tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost here on 90.1 WFYI. I'm Melissa Davis with Adam Gross. Coming up, we'll hear a top 5 from WFYI's Eric Weddle. But first, Adam, what's happening in the world of Indiana music?
Bloomington's Amy O has gotten a lot of love for her album Mirror Reflect. She's been featured in Stereo Gum, Paste, Apple playlists, and more. Here's one from that record. It's Amy O with Super Bloom.
Took a picture at Johnny's mansion. They taught me how to yo-yo. Said they were quitting cigarettes, hold it high and then go low. Don't wanna go home though. I really like LA. If I was younger, maybe someday. Electrical charges, gonna scurry up the coast. Be a lady.
You're tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost. I'm Adam Gross here with co-host Melissa Davis, and we're listening to music from Indiana artists. This next one is from a musical family. Indianapolis singer-songwriter Elizabeth Lee performs and co-writes with her dad Bobby. Here's one from their album Too Much. It's Elizabeth Lee with 40,000 Chances.
Looking out the side door, thinking I'll just stick around. So you're looking for someone to make you feel good, with no plans of giving good in return. Someone.
You are tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost. You can check out the music featured tonight on our Spotify playlist by searching WFYI Music. And Adam, you have a top 5 from a familiar voice.
I do. So people that listen to WFYI regularly might know the voice of Eric Weddle. He's the managing editor of WFYI's Education Desk and has been a reporter here for several years, but he also has a long history in music in Indiana. Melissa, you know, sometimes you work with people and you know they're cool, but you don't know just how cool they are. That's what it was like talking to Eric. I knew he was involved in music, but I didn't know just how deep it went. So he was in the Bloomington band John Wilkes Booze, who toured a lot and released music on several prominent record labels, including Kill Rock Stars and St. Ives. He also runs his own record label now called Family Vineyard, whose motto is newfangled and archival sounds aged to perfection.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, so let's check it out. Eric, thanks for coming on our show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Adam.
So our regular listeners to WFYI probably recognize your voice. You're on the radio. You're a reporter here. Do you want to talk just a little bit about what you do at the station?
Yeah, right now I am the managing editor for the education desk here at WFYI, and that's we have a team of 4 reporters, and we cover education policy in Marion County and across the state of Indiana. So we do investigative reporting on schools. We cover how it's happening at school boards. We cover what's happening at the State House. So anything with education is what we do. And, it's on the radio, it's online, it's on social media. And it's also through NPR often as well.
That's great. Well, I appreciate what you do as
Thank
a former
you.
teacher.
Yes,
That's
of
always
course,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're not just an editor and journalist. You also have had a record label for quite a few years, right?
Yeah, since 1999. Yeah,
Wow,
so
I
it's been
didn't
a
know
long
it was
time.
that long.
Yeah, a long time, yeah. So, yeah, I've been releasing records longer than that with some other friends. But, yeah, I've been doing my own record label called Family Vineyard since 99, and I've released more than 100 records since then. It's mostly like avant-garde experimental music, a lot of mostly non-Indiana artists, but I've done a number of Indiana groups or reissue projects over the years.
That's great. What do you have any favorite Indiana artists you've done?
Oh, that I've done? So one of my favorite bands in general is this band called MX80 Sound that was formed in Bloomington in 1995. And as I was getting ready to start the label, I got connected with those guys, and they live in California now. And I actually started the label to release their first side project, which was different from that band, but it was much more like this combination of music, concrete, ambient, collage, Soundworks. And so that was the first. That was FV1.
That's great.
Out. Yeah.
So you brought some songs to share with us
so I brought
today.
5 songs. Yeah.
What's your theme?
These aren't my favorite songs. These aren't the best songs, but they're songs I was thinking about moving to Indiana, moving to Bloomington in the mid-90s, and kind of some things that really connected with me musically. And that's what all these songs kind of represent. So I grew up reading the newspaper all the time. I lived in different states, and so I knew music scenes existed. So when I moved to Bloomington from upstate New York, I knew something was going to be there, but I didn't know what it was. So I just had that awareness. And so happened the first day or second day I was on campus as a freshman, I saw a flyer on a wall that my favorite band at the time was actually playing on tour in a basement in Bloomington.
Who was that?
The band Unwound, who was from Olympia, Washington. So they were playing, and I walked, got a little map, found the house, 602 South Mitchell Street, in Bloomington, and basically just found all these other people who mostly were from Bloomington natives, but they had all been in bands, and they all had bands. And so that was kind of my introduction to that. So a year later, a lot of these bands put out this compilation called Kick the Can, which included 4 bands, Sway Kiss, the Panoply Academy, Pretty Pony, and Entered Airlift. And the cool thing about this record was, we saw it being made, people that we knew were recording it and producing it. But the back of it kind of has this family tree of 1996.
Oh, that's
Bloomington.
so cool. I just want to point out that you have the actual 7-inch right here, and I'm looking at it, and it's a really nice artifact.
Yeah, so I wanted to play a song by one of these bands, Entered Airlift, off of a different record, but it was off of their debut 7-inch EP. And it's because Entered Airlift, when I moved there, they were this band that was already touring across the country, and they were just a few years older than me, and it was just super exciting. So this is a song off the record, and it's called Freedom Box. I guess if you're from Bloomington at the time, there's some funny in-jokes, but it's also kind of a political song too. So it's kind of funny and political at the same time.
He don't know what it is that he wants, but he can get it.
So I mentioned before that like one of my favorite bands in general and from Indiana is this band MX80 Sound. And so they formed, like I said, 1975, and they were just like this juggernaut of like very complicated guitar, fast-paced moving kind of people kind of thought they sounded like, you know, a hardcore version of like Captain Beefheart. But the other thing about them is their singer is this guy named Rich Stim, who has a very kind of like sarcastic, deadpan almost take. Mm-hmm. And so when MX80 formed, he wasn't actually in the band yet. And he had his own group called China Boys around the same time, 1975. And so he recorded a song for this compilation called Bloomington 1, which was this compilation, I think that also came out in 75, but it is featured kind of like different Bloomington bands of the time. And Rich was the obituary writer at the Herald Times newspaper, Herald Telephone.
What a job.
Yeah. And so so this song is called The Greatest Story Ever Told. And it's kind of a riff off of his job because everyone kind of knew him as the guy at the newspaper. So this is the China Boys.
Work is hard, work is long, work don't make me sing this song. Work is hard, work is long, work don't make me sing this song. Work
is hard, work is long, but work don't make me sing this song. Hey, everybody has got to work. Even the fat cats get a paycheck.
That's right, dude.
So I mentioned, you know, I was meeting all these bands, you know, mostly people my age, and, you know, but there are also bands in Bloomington that were like maybe a few more years older, like 4 or 5 years older, but they seemed much older at the time, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's a band called Fabric, which I really just loved at the time, and they kind of tried to combine the singer, Chris Cooper-Smith, played acoustic guitar and sang, but they also had electric bass and electronics, and they were also, it was always a mess. Something was always going wrong or something, but they ended up being like kind of signed to this label out of state and put out this record. At the time, I was writing for the student newspaper and you know, at IU, and they had an arts magazine, I think, and I did a cover story about them. And it was the first time that I like interviewed a band that like I think interviewed anyone that took me seriously as a journalist. And I remember we were like at the Runcible Spoon coffee shop on the back.
Oh yeah.
And they were kind of just like, not like breaking up in front of me, but like not happy being a group, but like discussing it with me, you know? And I ended up doing this like, you know, story about them kind of at this like unknown moment. They got a record out and they don't know what they're doing. And they were unhappy. So that band ended, and then they created another band called Uvula. And it was Chris and the bassist Tina. The electronics was kind of gone. They kind of got a few more people in that group. And it was kind of a similar thing where I really loved their music, but also, you know, it's hard sometimes to get out of Indiana, you know, to make it. And some people from out of state had them release an album and also didn't go anywhere. But I also, at that time, was working then this is like after college, I'm working at the free alternative newspaper in Bloomington called the Bloomington Independent. And I ended up doing another cover story on Chris and Tina in this band, Uvula. And about the same thing, like, what are they doing? What is happening to this band? But what I most remember was the cover shot. We had a photographer who took them out to Lake Monroe, and they got in the lake. And then the photo was them, like, coming out of the lake, you know, or going into the lake, whichever you want to look at it. And so that just, like, always stuck with me. And whenever I see them, I enjoy catching up with them. And actually, Chris is a teacher, too.
Oh,
so
wow.
he teaches as well. But yeah, this is a song off of their album, What You'd Expect, Uvula, and it's called Kicking Heel. Yeah, so I mentioned I was working at this newspaper, this free weekly newspaper, and I was kind of like music editor, calendar editor. I did a lot of arts coverage at the time then. And if you're involved in any of that or jazz in Indiana, you know this guy named David Miller, who was a trumpet player. He's a trumpet player in Bloomington, but he also for decades, like booked weekly jazz shows in Bloomington and booked different bands over and over. So David would come in every week and kind of pitch to me what his like show of the week was. And that time, and still today, like I was mostly interested in like avant-garde jazz and extreme jazz, and David, he wasn't booking that kind of stuff. I was booking that stuff, and he would come to my shows and just be like, "What are you doing?" Or how are these people able to like tour when they're making this sound? But one day, David came in with a CDR, and he was like, "I want you to listen to this. This is like my band." And it was a trio that he was in 1979 to like 81 called White Noise, and it blew my mind. Like I totally, when I listened to it, I couldn't believe he was involved in this, because it was kind of like this very ambient, atmospheric, like trumpet with like this weird staccato guitar and like hand drums. I mean, it's kind of like something like Miles Davis is more like abstract, formless type of music, which was my reference point at that time. But it was this trio that he did. And yeah, it was the three guys making this music. And they only ever released one track on another compilation album called Bloomington's 1979, this year's crop. And it's not, I don't think, a great representation of what they are. Eventually, David gave me like 2 hours of unreleased music. And so that's what I wanted to play, is one of these untitled songs that I don't know if anyone will ever hear them again. Like you mentioned my label. I tried to release these one point to reissue these records. And David said, "You can't, because one of the members would never let it." And I was like, wow. I can handle this guy.
Yeah.
And no, I couldn't.
You couldn't.
I couldn't. There was some bad blood that was like, 25, 30 years ongoing.
Yeah.
But if you ever want to hear this music, get a hold of me and I'll play it for you. But yeah. So I think this is recorded outside maybe, this track. But yeah, it's David and his two old friends.
So, Eric, like I mentioned earlier, you have a stack of vinyl here, which is beautiful. I wish people could see it. White Noise has a song on this record that I'm holding, which is Bloomington 1979, this year's crop. But the album cover, it's just like a bunch of a beautiful photo of apples and barrels. Yeah. And it looks like Better Homes and Gardens or something. But this has the gizmos. I mean, it's not a representative cover.
Right. And what's on the music? Yeah.
Yeah. But talk about this album a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Bloomington loves their compilations. I mean, they went on for many years, all kinds of compilations. But I believe everyone on this compilation recorded tracks just for this. So yeah, the Gizmos, the second version of the Gizmos, the Dale Lawrence version, is on here doing progressive rock, which is actually one of my favorite songs by that version of the band. But besides that, like, a lot of the people on here I don't know. I mean, like, they're just like names of people I've like not clear of, despite like many years of hearing about. I mean, T.J. Jones, who's a guitar player, great guitar player. His one of his bands, Evolution, is on here with the song Funk Pill. So, but yeah, so Bloomington Tunes, I guess, released this record. So.
I love that concept, just putting out compilation records of like things that are going on in the city at the time. I
mean, that's what it is. Yeah, actually, I see now looking at the names of the individual people in some of these groups, they pop out to me as people I knew or had heard of at the time. So yeah, I mean, people don't do this anymore. I mean, now you have the algorithm.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of a lost concept.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I think, it's by chance that I showed up here with 3 different compilation albums.
Yeah.
So, because I don't know if people really do that.
Right.
Anymore, or put money into it.
Right. Okay, so are we at our last track?
Yeah, so last track, like I guess like in the mid to late 90s, like the guitar player John Fahey kind of took a resurgence. People became more aware of him. I, of course, was one of those people that became aware of him and became really into his music. You know, he's kind of known as the American primitive guitarist, an acoustic guitar player. And he had a label called Tacoma that he produced other artists on. And one of those artists was this group from Bloomington called Home Gas, which I had never heard of until I kind of like got a list of Tacoma releases and someone told me. And I was going to bring that record as a kind of a link, but I don't know. It's great, but you can search it out if you want to hear it. But like it just in my general interest in like Fahey's playing and like other people like Robbie Basho, I ended up hearing about this guy named Suni McGrath, who turned out is from Indiana. And at the time, like I found out about it, I had never heard of him. No one ever mentioned me before. And Suni, he was born here and lived here a long time, and he passed away here a number of years ago. But he did 3 albums. One of them, his debut, is called Cornflower Suite. It was recorded in 1969, and it is one of my favorite, favorite albums. He is a really interesting acoustic guitar player. He blends a lot of different styles into it, like I mentioned, like my interest in Fahey, and he's not like someone that would say he's like, doing the same thing Fahey did at all. He has a very unique style, very like kind of like off-tempo sometimes, off-kilter. Supposedly he recorded like an album in 1961 for another label, and he did something wrong at the New Fork Folk Festival, which led to it not being released.
People did a lot of stuff at that festival.
So I've only read accounts of this. I always wanted to meet Suni, and unfortunately, I never just made the call before he passed away. So because he lived here, I think he was in Richmond. But if you go online, there's videos from his mother's YouTube account of him like playing in church and playing with her and stuff. So yeah, so he did 2 more records after Cornflower Suite. Both were kind of, I think, inspired by his religious either belief at the time or change into very Christian beliefs, all instrumental. But yeah, I brought Cornflower Suite. It's a 12.5-minute song, but hopefully we can hear.
We probably can't play the whole thing, but we can play some.
Yeah. So here's Suni McGrath.
Eric, thanks for coming on and sharing these tracks, and thanks for bringing in these records. It was nice
this
to
is fun.
See the physical representation, and people can find your reporting and editing at
WFYI.org/news. Yeah, all the education reporting that we're producing will be there.
Perfect. Well, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Eric Weddle, for that top 5. Coming up, we'll listen to a live performance from Bloomington-based Otto and the Moaners. We'll be right back with that after this break on Small Studio Signal Boost. This is Small Studio Signal Boost. Thanks for listening tonight. You can find the music featured tonight by following our playlists. Just search for WFYI Music on Spotify. You can find the podcast edition of the show wherever you get your podcasts or on our website, WFYI.org/podcasts. I'm Melissa Davis, joined by Adam Gross, and we have a nice live performance tonight.
That's right. So as part of our effort to support local artists, we partnered with Sarah Grain and the Billions of Stars on the release show for their album Days Worth Living Volume 2. And the opening band for that night was Bloomington's Otto and the Moaners. The band is made up of several Bloomington music veterans, but this was one of their first shows. As you'll hear in a moment, though, it sounds like they've been playing together for ages. This is Bloomington's Otto and the Moaners live at the Hi-Fi in Fountain Square in Indianapolis.
Song is all around me, stronger as I roll along. thank you. All right, what a treat to be here with y'all tonight. This is a song about loving life and loving the people you're with. Been too long since we found ourselves a circle of good people like these. Music's in the air, love is everywhere. It's a short time to dance under the stars before the coming of the dawning. And I love you before I'm leaving, 'cause I ain't staying long. You know these good times are made to last. You understand how quickly all must pass. When tomorrow comes, you wonder where it's gone. So while the night is young and we have each other to hold on, love me before I'm leaving, 'cause I ain't staying long. It's been a wild ride on this road with each other. Every road ends sooner or later. Wanna thank you for the good times we shared together. So let the lovers get one last dance. Let that band play one last waltz and love me before I'm leaving, 'cause I ain't staying long. Yeah, love him before the leaving, 'cause I ain't staying long. Heck yeah, I love you too. That's Matt Romey over here killing it on the keys. He's a record holder down in Bloomington and Monroe County. He's played in over 12,000 local bands in Bloomington. We got Mitch Marsh back here killing it on the drums. Or as he is in my phone, Mitch Drums. Trevor Webb on the bass, everybody. Bass Trevor in my phone. So thankful for these guys. This is our second show. got one more for y'all. We're Otto and the Moaners, and this one goes out to the Dip Club. May your summer 2024 be the summer of great dips. Many dips. But I can take you there. Hold your breath and jump on in, jump on in, jump on in. Ooh, what a sensation. Lying on the banks, warming up in the sun. Listen to the river, she goes a rolling on. In the water and a sparkle in your eyes. Gonna get on in again. One more time. I took her down to the Honey Creek, Honey Creek, Honey Creek. Water's so cool and the air's so sweet. Ain't no shame in feeling free, feeling free, feeling free. Oh, naturally, lying on the banks, drying off in the sun. Listen to the river, she goes rolling on. Shimmer in the water and a sparkle in your eyes. Gonna get on in again. One more time. Hey, lying on the banks, drying out in the sun. Listen to the river, she goes rolling on. Shimmer in the water and a sparkle in your eyes. Gonna get on in again. Again. One more time. Thank you.
That was Bloomington-based Otto and the Moaners live from the Hi-Fi in Fountain Square. You can check out our social media and YouTube pages in the coming days to see a video of them playing the song Honey Creek from that performance.
Adam, thank you for mixing this. And we'd like to thank the staff at the Hi-Fi for the excellent evening and the recording.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a great venue where they're willing to let you come in and record and get video and all that stuff. So, and shout out to Mark, who was the live sound engineer for that night.
Good stuff. You're tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost from WFYI. I'm Melissa Davis here with co-host Adam Gross. So what's happening this week?
We're partnering on another local show this month. I'm really excited about this one. It's Everything Now's release show for their new album, Magic Mountain. This is their first release since 2012's Do It on the Moon, and the show will take place at State Street Pub on the near east side of Indianapolis on June 22nd, and will feature an all-star lineup. In addition to Everything Now, you can see sets from The Last Four and Oreo Jones with Said Karin. Again, that's Saturday, June 22nd at State Street Pub, and you can get more info at wfyi.org/events.
Nice. What a lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Allison Victoria will be at the Jazz Kitchen. This is Small Studio alum Allison Victoria, singer-songwriter at the Jazz Kitchen Wednesday, June 12th. And also another show at State Street Pub, Sunday, June 16th, Ritual Madness, Rooms, MSA, Mere Man, and visuals by Bad Boys of AV at State Street Pub. And I just have a friendly reminder, every Saturday night is punk rock night at the Melody Inn.
That is a friendly reminder indeed.
Yes, good times. Well, that's the latest in Indiana music. Be sure to follow your favorite artists on social media for updates and info. This is Small Studio Signal Boost. Adam Gross and Roxana Caldwell created our show. This episode was produced by Adam Gross and me, Melissa Davis. You can check out the podcast edition of the show wherever you get your podcasts or at WFYI.org. And if you'd like to submit your music to get played on the show, just visit WFYI.org/local-frequency. And we are at our last song of the night. Adam, what do we have?
This is Small Studio alum Charlie Ballantyne with Silhouette. Have a great night.
WFYI podcasts are made possible by Bloomington, Indiana, an American college town offering experiences like indulging in grub at Nick's English Hut, taking a stroll along Kirkwood Avenue, feeling the history and magic of Assembly Hall, and providing the chance to feel like a college kid again. Plan your trip at visitbloomington.com.